This is the part of the show where I check to see whether the audio is working. So let's find out, shall we? Okay, I'll do that over here. Let's do that now and aha! The audio is working. The audio is in fact working. So there we go. So we can begin now. Hi, and welcome to Cooking with Linux Without a Net. I'm Marcel Gagne, and Cooking with Linux Without a Net is brought to you every Tuesday around about noon. I say round about because sometimes I'm a couple of minutes late, as I try to do some last minute things to make sure things work. But oh, by the way, today's wine is a Mezzamondo Pinot Grigio. That's what we're drinking today. And let me just fill up my wine glass here because I'm going to need it as the show goes on. Because as you know, this is a live show, which means that things are sure to go wrong. And they typically do. So again, this is brought to you by Linux Journal. Thank you very much to Linux Journal. And on that note, where are we here? On that note, see, I've got things all over the place. There we go. Let's do this, shall we? Shall we? Let's do this. There you go. There you go. That worked out rather well. Okay, so today on Cooking with Linux Without a Net, we are going to install. Windows Subsystem for Linux. Actually, we're going to install Linux on Windows. Okay, and to do that, I've got a brand new little Windows PC, and in fact, it's a little Acer PC. It's a little Acer tablet PC. It separates. Would you like to see the little Acer tablet PC? Would you like to see this thing? All right. Let me do this for a second here. Let me go get it. And then I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you here. Okay. Hold that thought. Ta-da. Okay, so this is the little Acer PC. Hey, like my Space Geek shirt? Space Geek. All right, this is the little Acer PC, all right? And this thing is actually separates and can become a tablet. So you can actually take the top off and turn this from a PC into a tablet. But today, for the sake of this demonstration, we're just going to leave it as a PC so that I can actually access it remotely. And in case you didn't hear that, so I can access it remotely. All right? All right. So I'm going to make the camera disappear. I know it's still here, but I'm going to make it disappear by going to another window. Okay? So here we go. And again, this is brought to you by Linux Journal. And so, become a patron, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And I'm going to take you over to this window. All right. So if you take a look here, you will see that I am connected via VNC to 192.168.86.97. Excuse me while I take a sip of my wine. If you've got any kind of a router at home, you may find that this looks a little bit interesting because of the 192.168 is obviously a private network. 86.97 is interesting because most of your routers, or most of the routers, are 192.168.1 something, unless you specifically create it. This one's .86 because what I've got in the house now, after fighting forever with internet access, specifically in different parts of the house, and having it cut out on me and so forth, and maybe I should just show you what I've got here. All right, let me see. Google. Wi-Fi. Let me see. Google Wi-Fi. There we go. Official Google Wi-Fi products. Let me see. I'm going to go to the site. This is not an endorsement for Google. I just want to show you what I've got. I got one of these things. It's a mesh network. So I actually have 3 of these guys scattered around the house. And it's lovely. It costs a ridiculous amount of money for 3 of them. I think it was like $450 or something. But I finally get Wi-Fi everywhere in the house. It doesn't cut out all the time. So if you want to call that a product recommendation or endorsement, fine, go ahead and do it. But I just, I've been fighting with this thing for a long time, and now this is where we've gotten. So I'm using this. I'm using VNC on a Windows, and this is actually. Let me full screen this. This is actually the desktop that you're looking at here. So I'm using TightVNC, and that's tightvnc.com if you're curious. In fact, let's go over here, tightvnc.com. This is what I installed on the PC to be able to access it remotely. So I actually went to the download now, and then I got the installer for Windows 64-bit, and this is actually what I'm running to be able to access the system remotely, to be able to access the PC remotely. Incidentally, quick break. If you are online and I see that there are a few people that are watching right now, please say hi, drop into the chat, let me know that you're there. And if you have some questions, please, by all means, ask questions. All right, so I've installed a couple of things on this PC. And just in case you're at all curious, the reason that I've got this PC in the first place is because of this thing here. I have an iPad that my son uses for educational purposes, and unfortunately he locked it with a password and was never able to unlock it, which means the iPad was locked forever, and the only way to fix it was either to wait in line for 2.5 hours at the Apple Store, knowing full well that this is going to happen again, or get a little Windows PC, because I didn't want to buy Mac. Little Windows PC so that I could fix the iPad. So this thing exists only so I could fix an iPad. But I figured, hey, I can put it to good use by showing you how to do something Linuxy with it. Okay, so again, this is Windows 10. Let's click the bottom here. You can see that it's Windows 10. There you go. And as you can see, I've got tight VNC running, which is how I'm accessing the desktop. So I'm actually doing all this from my Linux desktop, which you can tell by me minimizing this. And see, there we go. I'm on my Fedora desktop here. So I'm doing all this remotely over the desktop. Now, let me show you what we do. So there is, as you know, on here a Windows Store, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to go into the Windows Store. Now, a long time ago, back a million years ago, almost 2 years ago, I actually did a Cooking with Linux video, not a live without a net one, but a Cooking with Linux video where I installed the Windows subsystem for Linux, which was new in its infancy, and there were all sorts of interesting hoops that you had to jump through. My understanding, it's a lot easier than it used to be. All right, so let's say for fun that we want to. Oh, there we go. Get Linux on Windows. Get the apps. All right, let's do that. Let's run Linux on Windows. And we have a variety of things that we could install. So we've got Ubuntu. We've got OpenSUSE Leap 42, SUSE Linux Enterprise, Debian GNU Linux, excuse me, and Kali Linux. So we actually have a variety that we could run on this thing right now. Install and run Linux distributions side by side on the Windows system for Linux WSL. So what shall we do? What shall we do? Which one do you want to do? Do you want to do Ubuntu? Do you want to do Debian GNU Linux? Let's do Ubuntu. Why not? Let's do Ubuntu, shall we? All right, so let's click Ubuntu. So we're doing this from scratch. I have not installed this. I haven't tried it. We're about to try to see how well this actually works, okay? So this might fail dramatically. I have no idea. So let me see. Get. We're getting this right now. Working. Let me see. What do people also like? Apparently people also like OpenSUSE, Heidi SQL. That's interesting. Ink to code. There we go. Kali Linux. There we go. Downloading 200, I have no idea. How much are we downloading? 195.7 megabytes. Well, theoretically, that's not going to take a humongous amount of time, hopefully. Let's find out how long it actually does take. Because, of course, I didn't do that ahead of time. As you can see, I also did install OBS Studio for Windows. I'm not going to... let's open it. Let's see how much it kills the PC here. Let's double-click it. And of course, I'm not going to start streaming on this one because that would just be too weird. Downloading. We're still downloading. There we go. There we go. It does work. It does work. I should actually stream from it at some point and see what it's like. I love the little camera in the corner here. Let me move the... see the camera in the corner there? That's the floor. You're looking at my floor because that's where the PC is sitting at the moment. It's sitting on the floor. All right, let me close that. Ubuntu, how are we doing? 13.2 megabytes per second, 107. We're almost there, 195. So what I should really do here is take a sip of my wine. This is the part that if I was recording this directly, as in not live, I would actually cut a whole part of this out, probably. 145, 147, 195. So how you guys doing out there? Lovely day? You enjoying the day? I'm enjoying the day mostly. It's actually sunny out here at the moment in Waterloo. We had snow like a week ago, but it is 23 degrees outside right now. Holy cow, that is awesome. That is awesome. It's going to be really 23 degrees. I should be outside doing stuff right now instead of hanging around in here. Again, if you're on, say hi. Put something in the chat window. Let me know that you're out there. There we go. Restoring, installing. We're installing Ubuntu. Well, this should be interesting. Now, this is going to be interesting for a couple of reasons. When I first did this, before I actually clicked that launch button to see exactly what happens, when I did this the first time 2 years ago, you could not install a distribution directly. You installed the Windows subsystem for Linux, and there was no graphical desktop of any kind, and you had to do all sorts of interesting things. Well, let's pin it to start. You had to do all sorts of interesting things to make it happen, like install an X server and so forth. So let's launch this and see what happens now, shall we? Launch. Are you excited? I'm excited. Is not... Please enable it and try again. Let me see. aka.msws install for details. Let's find out what that actually says, shall we? Let me see. aka.ms.ms. I'm doing this on another PC at the moment. ws install. Let me see. ws install for details. All right, let's find out. What does it say? It says so you can't just touch it. Wait a minute. Okay, let me see. The section is blah, blah, blah. Let me see. Please create a default Unix user account, blah, blah, blah. Windows system for Linux. Let me see. Update and security. Let me see. Do we need to install the Windows subsystem for Linux? Let's find out. This is actually not telling me anything. Press any key to continue. All right. Let's do this. Windows subsystem. Get the apps. Get the apps. Run Linux on Windows. Install side by side on the Windows subsystem for Linux. So they make this sound like it's really, really easy to do, but all right, let's do this. Let's open a command prompt. Is the bash shell working yet? Not cache, B-A-S-H. There we go, bash Unix shell. All right. Well, that didn't actually work out the way that you expected, did it? All right. Let me see. WSL. Side-by-side subsystem for Linux, WSL. Launch. Check your build. This is actually a very new PC, so since moving to the store, we stopped keeping update and security. All right. Let's go into settings. Let's see if that's actually the case here. Settings, update and security, update and security. Do I still have to initialize developer mode for developers? Windows Update. Let me see, for developers. And let's turn on developer mode. Turning on developer mode includes installing and running apps from outside the Windows Store. Well, that's fine, but this is actually not outside the Windows Store, as it turns out. Installing developer mode package. We're going to have to go and take a look and see what that error message was again, because the link, by the way, that it gave me does not actually work, which is interesting. All right, so we're installing the developer mode package. So let's go back over here. So the Ubuntu, which is there, okay. Okay, if I click launch again, because I want to see that error message, it says the WSL optional component is not enabled. All right, the WSL component is not enabled. WSL component is not enabled. What does that mean? What does that mean? Let's find out. Your Windows subsystem is not turned on. Turn on the enable Windows optional feature. Blah blah blah. To turn on, open. I guess we're kind of spoiled in the Linux world. You just apt install and everything works the first time, right? So this is actually a little bit, unfortunate because I'm trying to figure it out. AKA WS install for, all right, let's find out here. WSL, let's find out if there's, obviously that part does not work. And by the way, that link that it shows you doesn't actually take you anywhere. It takes you to the main Microsoft page, and presumably you're supposed to find out what happens there. Get the apps. Get the apps. See, I already did that. I did get the apps. I did exactly what it's telling me to do there. So let's go back to find a setting, WSL. Linux. Does Linux show up in here? Linux does not show up in here in the settings. All right. So I've turned on the developer features, which theoretically shouldn't be necessary because it's actually in the Windows Store. In the Windows Store. Let's try it one more time here, and then I'm going to have to try something different. Launch. Let me see. Your Windows subs did not turn on. To turn on... This is a... whoops. All right, let's open Windows PowerShell. There you go, Windows PowerShell. Come on, Windows PowerShell, start up. Start up, because apparently I need you. All right, Windows PowerShell. All right, it says enable, wow. All right, this is a long line that apparently I have to type here. You would think that it's as simple as just clicking install, but apparently it's not. So, okay, so enable Windows, ENABLE dash Windows dash, sorry, Windows optional feature. Wow, we thought it was going to be easy. It's in the store. I should just be able to install it. Online dash feature name. Whoops, dash feature capital N. Dash feature name. Microsoft hyphen Windows. Microsoft hyphen Windows hyphen subsystem. Let me see. Is that it? Just hyphen subsystem hyphen Linux. All right, let's see. The request that requires elevation. Elevation. Line 1, character 1 requires elevation. Open PowerShell as administrator. As administrator. How can I open it as administrator on this thing? Change user account control settings. User account control, blah, 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 to your changes to your computer. Administrator. Administrator. Administrative tools. Open new window. Yes, Marcel is confused at the moment here. How do I run as administrator? How do I run as administrator? You can tell I'm not a Windows guy, can't you? Administrative tools. Should I not be able to run something as administrator? How do I run as administrator? Windows 10, run as administrator. How do I do that? How do I do that? Find the app, blah, blah, blah. Click the open file location from within the more menu. Find the app in the start menu, blah, blah, blah. Right click on the program and select properties. Click advanced Seriously? Seriously? Okay, let's find out. So if I click here and Windows subsystem for Linux, I pinned it. Does that mean, oh, there it is, Ubuntu. More, run as administrator. Yes. Okay, let's, apparently I still need to do this PowerShell thing. I still need to do this PowerShell thing. Right click. I did right click PowerShell, but anyway, right click. Whoops. Control Z, that's not what I want. I see that, Nicholas. Thank you. To start PowerShell as admin, right click on start. Right click on start. All right, let's do that. Right click on start. Windows. Thank you, Ken. You've saved my life. I think. There we go. Do you want to? Yes, I do. All right. So does that mean I have to type the whole thing again? There we go. Windows PowerShell as administrator. All right. All right. We're nearly there. Are we nearly there? Are we nearly there? I did say this was without a net, didn't I? I did, didn't I? I just want to make that clear. All right. Enable hyphen Windows optional feature. I thought this would have been easy by now, you know, like you can just do this. There's a store, there's something that says you can install it, but no, this stuff is not as easy as they claim it is. Feature name. So if some person at home who you know just wants to play with Microsoft, yes, I typed it right, Windows subsystem Linux. All right, does that work? Running. Whoa, stuff is happening. I'm gonna have a sip of wine. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Nicholas. You guys are great. To answer your question, Ken, I installed it from the store because, you know, it's available in the Windows Store. You would think that this would just work, right? By installing it from the Windows Store. It should just work since I installed it. Since I installed it from the store, I know it's crazy for me to think that way. It's crazy for me to think that way, that it should just work. I know. What's that? I am so naive. I am so naive. I am totally naive. Wow, it takes a long time to enable a feature. Holy cow. I am so naive. My goodness. All right. Administrator, right click, run as administrator. Let me see. Do you want to restart the computer? Sure, why not? Apparently I don't really have a choice. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's restart it. And let's see how long it takes to restart it. Here we go. Restarting. Getting Windows ready. Don't turn off your computer. Working. Okay, this happened. Looks like it's happening fairly quickly. I'm gonna have some more wine. You guys have some wine, please. Drink something. 7% complete. I don't know. Seriously. I'm not used to this rebooting stuff. I'm not used to things not. Go to Windows features and settings. Much easier. Windows features and settings. Much easier. All right. Well, let me see. I guess we'll have to do that next time. How are we doing here? Working on. Oh, no. 9% complete. Don't turn off your computer. Oh my goodness. Am I just trapped here? Oh, 10% complete. 10%. We're at 10%. This is awesome. 11%. Oh, it's just screaming along here. This is just happening really, really fast. All right, in case you're joining me halfway through, please remember to go to Linux Journal and give them your love. Give them your love. That means subscribe to them. And go to my YouTube channel, hit that red button, subscribe. Tell all your friends, your neighbors, your loved ones, your hated ones. Tell your enemies, tell your dog, your cat, your fish, your hamster. Share with everyone in the world. And please, do that. Do that. And of course, you can also go to cookingwithlinux.com. And that's a good place to look at some of my posts. I'll try to keep those up to date. And if you have an opportunity and you can do that, please become a patron and support my habits, my video making habits. 20% complete. You know what? I'm gonna go grab that PC. I'm gonna go grab that little PC there and see. I'm gonna go grab the PC and see what's happening. Let's see how this thing is doing. So see. There's the little PC there. This is the little Acer PC. This thing is actually meant to be, just so that you know, this is actually meant to be a tablet as well, which means I can separate the screen from there and use it as a tablet, which is was one of the reasons I thought it might actually be potentially useful. But obviously, I don't work on Windows all that much these days. Gotta run WSL. Isn't that great anyway? Yes, thank you, Ken. I appreciate that. Thanks for being here, my friend. And thanks for saving me and allowing me to continue with this as we go here. 25% complete. I'm still watching it on this side over here. 26% complete. Is there nothing I can do while it's doing these updates? Like, am I actually completely trapped while I do these updates? All right, well, hey, since I'm doing the updates and I don't really have a choice at the moment, you should probably know, since I'm downloading Ubuntu, and it's not going to happen this way, but ubuntu.com, and yes, I say that as I run Fedora on my desktop here, but the latest Ubuntu 18.04 LTS is out now. And, geez, I wonder if I could actually run it on here. Let's download it. Download a desktop, and let's see. This should be good for a laugh. Let's see if I can download and run an Ubuntu desktop faster than Windows is going to update the Windows subsystem for Linux. What do you think? Do you think we can do this? I think we can probably do this. So let's find out, shall we? Okay. All right, so Ubuntu desktop, blah, blah, blah. Make the desktop even more amusing. Not now. Take me to the download. I love you guys. I really do, but I want to make this happen fast. Installation guide. There we go. No, just don't open the image. Just save it, and we'll see how the download is going here. So we're doing this from scratch. We are actually downloading this thing, okay, from scratch. I'm going to run Ubuntu on my desktop in a virtual machine. So, okay, so you see how much time that we've actually spent on this. 7 minutes left. It's not going to be 7 minutes. It says 7 minutes, but it's never going to be 7 minutes. At least I hope it's not going to be 7 minutes, because this is still happening over here. This is still happening. So, working on updates, 30% complete, 30% complete. Let's go back over here. Let's go back over here. Thank you for downloading Ubuntu Desktop. Can't possibly be done. It's not. 3 minutes, 7 seconds, 4 seconds left. 340, blah, blah, blah. Again, I know I've said this before, but if you're on and you're watching at this time, please, say hi. Say hi. And 2 minutes and 53 seconds left. All right, let's go and have a look and see how our Microsoft desktop is doing here. Come on, Windows. Come on, Windows. Windows. Oh, it's the screen has actually gone dark on me over here, and it stopped doing. So let's find out if it's actually rebooting. Excuse me for a second. I'm just gonna go and have a quick look here and see how this thing is doing. How's the download doing here? How's the download? 58 seconds left. Okay, so I'm downloading the Windows subsystem for Linux. It is actually, it's spinning, it's doing something down there. It's doing something. The screen went dark for a second. Is it still dark? Working on updates. And actually the screen down there has just flashed and it's gone back to blue and it's telling me something else. How are we doing with the download of Ubuntu here? 47 seconds left. And it tells me that it's at 87% on the Windows PC there. It says 87%. It says it's 100% complete on the Windows PC. 27 seconds left on the Ubuntu desktop. Which one is going to happen first? All right, let's go back and take a look here. Windows subsystem for Linux. Let's reconnect. Actually, let's go back to this one here and we'll say disconnect. And then I'm going to go use the same one here. You say, okay. There we go. It's coming back online. It's coming back to life. It's spinning. It says welcome. So the Windows thing has happened. We're just waiting for it to happen. How about Ubuntu? There we go. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go MV download. Whoops, sorry. I'm going to go MV downloads Ubuntu. And I'm going to move that over to my folder, which has got ISOs. And let's go back over here and see how we're doing here. Okay, whoa, let's find out. Let's find out. Have we got Ubuntu yet? Have we got Ubuntu yet? There it is. I'm so excited. Sorry, I apologize for that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Seriously? This may take a few moments. It might take more than a few minutes at this rate, but let's go and find out if we can run Ubuntu over here yet. Let's use Boxes, shall we? Let's go use Boxes as a virtual machine manager. And I don't have anything in there, so I'm going to say new. And I'm going to say select a file because I've got one in here. I'm going to say home. And then I'm going to go over to where it says ISOs. And over here, I've got Ubuntu 18.04 desktop. And I'm going to say open. And I'm going to give Windows a chance here by going down here, installing. This may take a few minutes. I don't know if it's actually stopped. I don't know if it's still going, but something is presumably happening there. Are you doing it? It says Ubuntu. The box says Ubuntu. Let's find out. Okay, let's go to Boxes here. I'm going to say create 21.5 gigabytes. And Ubuntu is booting up, and we're installing it. Let's go English. Shall we try Ubuntu without installing it? No, let's install it. Let's actually go through the process and install it, because, you know, it's installing Ubuntu over on Windows over there. So let's do that. Let me see. Control-Alt. Let's go back to Windows. How are we doing over in Windows? Installing. This may take a few minutes. Ubuntu 18 over here. It's a race. It's a race. There we go. Ubuntu 18.04. It's loading up. Over here, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if it's working or not working. It's just sitting here. Installing. This may take a few minutes. Is it actually working? Is something else happening? I don't know. Let's go back over here. Let me see. 18.04. Install. Sure. Let's continue in English. Let us take the English. I'm just going to take all the defaults here, okay? I'm not gonna give it an unfair advantage. Normal installation, download updates. Sure, why not? Let's do that. Okay, continue. Normal installation, erase disk, install now. Remember, this is a virtual machine, so I'm not really installing my disk. Continue. How are we doing over on the Windows side? Please create a default. Okay, new Unix username. Okay, this is good. This is good. Marcel. That'll be it. New Unix username. Marcel. Here we go. Here we go. All right, let's go see how we're doing over here. We're still waiting. Where are you? Toronto. Continue. And my name, Marcel Gagne is my name. Ubuntu 18.04. Pick a username, Marcel. My password is secret. S-E-C-R-E-T. By the way, I don't do that in real life. This is just for demo purposes. Secret. So, you know, I know it's a weak password. I got it. It's a weak password. All right, let's go over here. New Unix password, S-E-C-R-E-T. S-E-C-R-E-T. Password updated successfully. Yes, yes, it's happening. It's happening. I'm excited. I'm excited. To run a command as administrator, blah, 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 sudo man for details. Please create installation successful. Okay, does that mean I'm done? Does it mean it works? This does look like a Bourne shell. PWD, yes, it is a Bourne shell. It is a Bourne shell. And that does work just fine. So let's try and run Ubuntu on my Windows desktop. Ubuntu. Ubuntu, it's just the shell. Okay, it's just the shell. It's not actually the whole desktop. It's not actually the whole desktop. So I don't actually get the whole desktop like this. So Ubuntu in this case is just the Bourne shell. So if I want to install the desktop, let me see, sudo apt update and SECRET. And there we are. We're downloading the update. How are we doing over here? Configuring apt. It's all happening over here. Okay, I've created a Unix user. Let me see. Ubuntu desktop. Are we actually going to be able to do this? Let me see. All right, well, that is working fine. So actually, that's kind of interesting. It is 2018. I would have expected this to be a little bit easier in many ways than it was when I first did this way back when. But at the moment, it's not. So when I type Ubuntu, basically, I'm just getting a bash, a Bourne shell in this case. And if I go over here to where my install is happening, it is still going on just fine over here. And it looks like we're getting near the end of the install here. But over on Windows, okay, on Windows we've got this. Do I have to install Ubuntu desktop? Apt install Ubuntu. Let's actually go with does that work? Do we have a full Ubuntu? Sudo apt install xinit. Aha, so we do not actually have an Ubuntu desktop. Sudo apt install Ubuntu-desktop. And nope, as it turns out, none of the applications which constitute an Ubuntu desktop are installed. So this is actually going to take quite a while to happen, as it turns out. But you know, let's start it. And we probably will not finish it today, but maybe I'll take you back in a separate video and show you how this happens as it's after the fact to see whether or not we actually do have an honest-to-God Ubuntu desktop on this thing, or an Ubuntu desktop that actually works. And here we are over in boxes. We still have our Ubuntu desktop installing, and I'll just take a second to toast everybody who's still out there. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out. And I really do appreciate you, Ken, for helping me out on the whole PowerShell issue, because I don't know how long I would have spun my heels on that one. Well, I was Googling it. I would have at some point figured it out, but thanks for the help. I do appreciate it. There we go. We're downloading. We're running BBKG over here, and we're gonna find out. I have a sneaky suspicion. I could be totally wrong, but I have a sneaky suspicion that the actual Ubuntu install on Linux is going to happen a lot faster than the other side. And so anyway, yeah, obviously I've got a lot of packages. I've got a lot of installation that needs to happen on this side, and we may just have to revisit this installation at another time. But the fact is, we do have a Linux shell working on this thing. We do have access to, you know, whatever tools we need. Obviously, I'm running top over here. And obviously I'm doing an installation down here. But the big thing, oh, there we go, restart now. I'm sorry, but it looks an awful lot like the Linux on Linux installation worked. And here's the thing, I'm actually running this as a virtual machine on my PC. So there's the resources that I'm using here take a look over in the top right hand there where it says, where it's got the big Fedora logo and so forth. That's the memory I'm using. That's the CPU that's happening. And please remove the installation medium. Press enter. All right, I'm going to do that. And let's just wait for this to boot back up. Ubuntu 18. Is it just going to restart automatically? It looks like it is restarting. All right, and how are we doing over in the Windows world? And my Windows subsystem for Linux is still installing the other bits and pieces that we need from. So basically, when it says Ubuntu, it's actually talking about the Ubuntu, basically the Bourne shell and the associated command line tools associated with an Ubuntu server, for instance. It doesn't necessarily mean that you actually have a desktop. And when we go into the Windows Store, let me go back into the Windows Store here and show you this again. Windows Store. Windows Store, and let's just type Linux up here again, Linux, and when it shows us the various distributions here, Kali Linux, Debian GNU Linux, Enterprise Linux, OpenSUSE Elite 42, we're not talking about a full-blown desktop at that point. We are merely talking about what you might think of as a server installation, and probably not including things like Apache and so on. It's probably, let me see, well, now I won't be able to tell because I'm installing this at the moment, but /etc/Apache. No, there is no Apache on here at the moment. So that doesn't exist. So it's basically a very basic installation. Obviously, you're going to get the tools and the flavor associated with either Ubuntu or Kali or OpenSUSE, but you do not have anything resembling a desktop. There we are. We're at 19% over here, and now we're ready to log in. So let's do that. Log in, Marcel, password SECRET, and we are running Ubuntu 18.04. Let's wait for the desktop to come up. And at this moment, I'm sorry to say, I'm sorry, Windows, I'm really sorry, but I realize I've got a reasonably fast machine here, but we downloaded and installed a complete Linux distribution in less time than it took you to actually install over on the Windows system. And I had to figure out a whole pile of other things, and I had to jump through hoops, including the whole PowerShell thing to make it happen. But there you go. That's where we are. Next. This is the new Ubuntu. Yes, send them info. Sure, why not? I'm cool with that. You're ready to go. You can use software to install apps like these. Great, wonderful, done. And there we go. Ubuntu is set up and ready to roll on our PC. And let's go terminal because we want to be able to do the same thing we're doing over here. So there we go. Top. There we go. I'm going to open a secondary one. New terminal. Let's open another one over here, and I'm going to go sudo apt update and SECRET. And all this is obviously working a lot faster than what's happening on the headset. I grant you, this is a small tablet PC, and on the Windows system here, and it's limited by the horsepower that it actually has. But again, I'm happy that Windows is doing this, that they make this available. But I did have to jump through an awful lot of hoops in order to make this happen, to be able to even get this far. And I wish I didn't have to. I wish I could have just gone into the store like I showed you and click here and, install what I needed to do, because that's really what it made it look like. Like that was what I could do. Let's see, all of the Linux-y sort of things to Ubuntu, WSL guidelines. I'm not sure how these are all Ubuntu things, but there we go. Or all Linux things, I should say. All right, cool. All right, so this is going on. And this is where I'm going to wrap it up for today. So if I can indulge your patience for just one more minute, I do want to thank Linux Journal for making this possible, for supporting me while I'm doing these shows. And I do invite you to go to linuxjournal.com, subscribe to the magazine, become a patron. If you become a patron at Linux Journal, you can even become a patron at one level here, where you will get a monthly delivery of the magazine, including the deep dives at just $5 per month, or monthly delivery and a shout out on the. I mean, this is worth it. You should do this. You should just do this. It's a great idea. And the other thing that you can do is you can go to Marcel Gagne and support my habits over there and help me continue doing these things. Patreon.com/Marcel Gagne. And of course, cookingwithlinux.com, and of course, youtube.com/freethinkeratlarge. Make sure you subscribe, share with friends, family, neighbors, loved ones, hated ones. I don't really care. Just share, let other people know about this. And where are we here? There we go. Go back to Linux Journal here. And this is where I'm going to leave it for today. So thank you, and we'll see you next Tuesday for another Cooking with Linux Without a Net, where things don't always go the way you expect them to, and sometimes I fall flat on my face. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ken, for helping me out. Thank you, everyone else who was in the channel, and for your emotional support. And we'll see you later. Marcel Gagne, out. Oh, one more cheers. 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 Lovely. Bye.